don't be too greedy when you are filing your taxes to get money without knowing where the money is coming from. I have a number of people that say, my tax preparer was putting things in my tax bill. I never knew. I don't want it, so that's the reason why I come to you. And I appreciate that. Every one of us.
Hi everyone, it's another fine day, and this is the season. Taxes, 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 refunds, dependents, this, that. This is the season where those who worked hard are supposed to be running to people who are professional enough to make things happen for them. Today I will be talking to someone. Welcome to Toride Boss.
Thank you very much, boss.
Mr. Roger. It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm happy to be back in the studio again.
Okay, so I know many people know you already. For the few that don't know you, what's your name and where you from? And what do you do?
Okay, my name is Roger Molong. I am the CEO of Kingdom Pro Tax Services, and I live here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm a tax preparer, a professional authorized tax preparer.
Okay. What do you mean by the professional authorized tax preparer? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I could just say authorized tax preparer. It means, when I mean professional, it means that I'm trained for that, prepare and authorized by IRS to prepare individual taxes as well as business taxes.
Wow. That is good to know. We need people like you in our community to make things happen for our favor. So, what is tax filing all about?
Well, tax filing is a process where at the beginning of every year, IRS try to reconcile the taxes and income of every individual as well as businesses so that nobody should cheat another one. It's just like, for example, it's just like in accounting. At the end of every year, they do a balance sheet, what they call balance sheet, to make sure that everything comes to zero. It's the same with IRS. They want to make sure that at the end of every year, you pay what you're supposed to have paid as what they call withholdings, tax withholdings. Those are the taxes that you authorize your job, your HR, to withhold from you, or depending on the question that you answer to them. And then when they withhold those taxes, IRS trusts you to be faithful for what you are doing. But at the end of the year, they just want to just like check in to see whether you actually did the right thing, and just to make sure that in case you make error and you overpay them, let them give you some money back and what they call refund. If you pay them less, then they will normally request you to pay the other part that you were supposed to pay. So they do that for every year. At the beginning of every year, they do it for the previous year. Yes, just to balance the account, to make sure that nobody owes another one.
So are you saying everyone is supposed to file taxes, or how does it work?
Everybody that works and have a tax ID is supposed to file taxes. Tax ID means you have employment, maybe you have you are a citizen, or you are a resident, or you have a working permit, or if you don't have a working permit, you may have what they call I-10. It means you are illegal, but you are working. So you want to be honest and faithful to still report your taxes, saying that, well, though, yeah, I don't have papers here, you don't recognize me here, but I want to report myself. I-10, so you go to, you send them a letter and with your document, and they give you, they assign you I-10, knowing that you are not, that you should use that to report your income.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it only for individuals who work or businesses, or how does it?
It's for everybody that works or owns a business. The government just wants us to be a faithful citizen, a responsible citizen, or resident, and so on. They just expect us, because those are the money that they use for infrastructures, roads, and so schools, and a lot of things. So,
now, I think you talked a little bit about tax refund. The question I want to ask you is everybody qualified to get refunds?
Yeah, that is the misconception that a lot of us, especially immigrants, we have about refunds. A lot of people think that refunds is just that the tax season is just the time that everybody is getting some money back from IRS. But it's a misconception because it is just reconciling your income. And you can only, the refunds are just the excess that you
probably
pay, or due to certain conditions, maybe you have children, they do what they call a child tax credit. If you have, you got a child within a year at the beginning, when you have already maybe reported to your job site, to your HR, that you have one child, and then it happens that you have two children at the end of the year, then you have to report that to IRS, and then they give credit for that child. If you, maybe you went to school and you pay your money out of pocket, and then IRS want to compensate you for some credit, education credit. Even in so, education credit is supposed not to be taken more than 4 times. It's unfortunate. A lot of people can take it up to 8 times. But if you get audited, you will be paying with penalties. So it's very good for us to always respect those things. Nobody ever take it. A lot of people never really take it, say that is enough. I have few people who are honest, but a lot of people are not very honest. So you have child tax credit, you have education credit, head of household credit. Head of household is somebody that has a home, has somebody under him or her that is taken care of, and then he qualify to have some credit. So those are some few credit that individuals they have. That's what can make somebody to have refunds. And even so, you can still have even up to 5 children and you don't have refund because you didn't pay your enough taxes, or secondly, your income went so high and you permitted your job from the reform to withhold only 10%. Meanwhile, you are at the bracket of 22% now. So you are seeing that you are short of 10%. Sometimes you are not only 22%, you are at the bracket of 37%.
Wow.
So you see that though withheld just 10%, you still owe 27%. So even with all the child tax credit and all the credit, you
still not get
up owing money.
Wow, dependent.
Yes. Yeah, when we talk of dependent, most of the time, who should be dependent? Who's supposed to be your dependent? And that is another problem that a lot of us doesn't understand this. And keep having problem back and forth with that. Your dependent is actually somebody that you take care of. You have direct relationship with. For example, a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, a mother, grandmother, nephew, cousin, or a foster child from the government. Or yes, those things. Apart from that, nobody supposed to be
considered
your dependent. But even so, we equally have what we call qualified dependent. Somebody can be a dependent. You are dependent, but not qualified for you to fight the child. What are the things that make someone to be qualified dependent? A qualified dependent is a dependent that you took care of. Secondly, the child must be in United States for that tax year for at least 6 months under you. So so if your child doesn't reside in the United States, is not qualified, is not a qualified dependent. No, you can say that, well, you took care of that child, but it doesn't qualify you as a dependent because you have failed the other one. The child wasn't in the United States. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't respect that because they have the Social Security Well, I don't do that anyway. If I have to answer you, because IRS requires me to interview you, due diligence question. Ask you question about your dependent. Do you live with the dependent? Do you have supporting document that shows that you will live with this dependent? And if not, you don't. Your mother will only be your dependent. Your dependent is somebody that your dependent cannot be older than you. He is not qualified to be your dependent. Your dependent cannot be above 21, above 24 years if he's not going to school or she's not going to school.
Okay.
You cannot claim somebody who is above 24 years as a dependent, no matter the relationship you have with him or her. You can't claim him or her as your dependent because the person, if the person is above 21 years and less than, is above 18 years or so and less than 24 years or so, is it 24, 20? And he must be, he must be going to school for you to claim that person. Another one is that the person can be at any age, but it must be disabled.
Okay.
Yes, it can be older than you this time, but it should be disabled.
Wow. I think we really need to go into that whole dependence thing deeply. But for time purposes, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the challenges you think people face when it comes to filing their taxes?
The major challenge that people face while filing their taxes is that they don't have the knowledge about withholdings. Withholdings, the money that they were supposed to report at their job site. For example, you went to your job site and they give you on the W4 or somebody assists you to fill it, which is your tax form, and they ask you, you say, I want to claim myself as a dependent. So when you claim yourself, they already know that when you claim one, no, you say you want to claim one because you consider yourself as you are dependent. So when you claim now one person, they can withhold up to 10% again because they know they have one person under you. So that one person, when you are filing your taxes and the tax preparer can't see that one person that you claim, your money will start building back. That's what our people don't know. A lot of our people, they just go and say, okay, just put 4 so that people, they will not take money from you. The United States system is not like, it's not corrupt that you can just play around with things and go
with
free.
Numbers.
When you put 4, when you are filing your taxes, it's something that is automatic.
You have to
you put 1, instead of 4, you put 1, they will charge you for the 3 others that you put, because when you put that 4, they don't withdraw, they will reduce your taxes for every dependent you add. And so when you are filing now, they want to see those children.
And during the time when you're filing, if you actually put the 4, then you have to prove supporting documents, right?
Yes, you have to prove supporting document. Yeah, I can't say that my child is in Africa, I have his or her social security, so I can use him or her to file the taxes because I was taking care of his or her school in Africa. No, that's not the IRS requirement. You don't pass that test.
Besides that challenge, is there any other challenge?
Yes, so another challenge is that our people, sometimes you go and report, if you are making 40,000 a year and you have moved to the bracket of 80,000, your tax bracket has completely changed. You have to go back to your HR and say, my income bracket has changed. You were as a single person, they were charging you maybe 12%. Now you are at 20%. You are charging you now at 20%. Right. Now, you come at the end of the year, you say, but I reported I was single. No, on my from W4, I'm single, I don't have any dependent under me. Why am I still owing? It's because your income bracket went up. You didn't report that. If your income bracket as a single go up to 100,000, your tax bracket is 37%. Wow. So you imagine you were paying 10%. Now you have to pay. And then another challenge is that a lot of people doesn't know that Social Security and Medicare are not taxes. So some people go on tax exempt, and then they are still taking maybe Social Security or so. And so when they come back and they say, but they were taking me taxes. Why am I? I say, No, they were not taking your taxes. They were taking Social Security and Medicare. And then the taxes are totally different. So a lot of people don't know the difference between the tax withholding, the Social Security and Medicare. Tax with Social Security and Medicare are automatic. They don't ask you. They are not asking you whether they should remove it or not. If you go on tax exempt, that's what the error that many other people do. Somebody say, I will go on tax exempt. Tax exempt means that you ask your company not to touch your money. I'm coming at the end of the year to pay everything by myself. And when you go, at the end, a lot of people think that if you go on exam, at the end of the year, you will pay less. It's totally false. If you go on exam, it's very dangerous, especially when you make income up to about 100,000. You make income up to 100,000, you are single, they're supposed to be taking Social Security, Medicare, and taking the taxes of about 37%. So you will be surprised that at the end of the year, they might be requiring you to pay about 37,000. Because it will contain Medicare, Social Security, and the withholding. So you see that it will be too much, it will be very heavy on you. And because of that, we receive pressure now. Because do something, my tax preparer, try to reduce this, try to do something, and then if you are not very careful, you'll be forced to do certain things. I don't do that, but some people do that. Some people go and create a business that doesn't exist, declare you losses upon it, and if IRS ever audit you and you don't prove that business, you might end up paying 10 times what do you receive. So it's very, very tricky, and I advise everybody, don't dare it, don't go into it, because it will end up not being well with you. I have a number of people that are in payment plan because of that.
What makes you different?
Well, to say what made me different, before I started a tax company, I have gone around, I've heard so much about taxes, I've seen, I've witnessed, I've experienced, I've read documentaries, and I saw all the things that bring people into problems. And then before I started, I then decided to make a difference. Okay. I decided to always make sure I maximize people's refund. I study, research to see what I can do to maximize your refund. And at the same time, I don't want to add anything that tomorrow you can get audited. You can get audited even after 3 years. And the penalties and all the fines and everything will be added. It will be so large. It will be so huge. I don't want to be that person that you pass through my tax company and then that happened to you and you are under payment and stress and so on. I don't want to do that. So when somebody comes to me and he must do that, I will tell you that I must not file your taxes. Yes. Can go to somewhere. So another thing is that I'm very transparent. We are professional. We are very transparent. We are on social media. We are on Google. You can search us on Google. You can search us on Facebook. You can search on Instagram. So we share vital information, just like you are saying. From time to time, we sit and talk to people and then educate them in some of these things. And we are very, very moderate. One of the things that I discovered when I was learning and still learning this thing was that a lot of tax preparers are, I'm sorry to say that, number of them are not transparent. And I want to be transparent. I want to put God first, knowing that when whatever thing I'm doing, God is seeing me first before any other person is seeing me. Before we submit your file, you must agree with our fee. You must agree with the terms and the condition, and then we submit it. There's no place where I will submit your file and say, oh, as I prepare your taxes, I saw that this is what you are getting, so I've already submitted. No, this is what you are getting. Are you okay? This is my fee. Are you okay? If you are not okay, let's talk about it. When you are okay, we'll submit. If you are not okay, move forward with it. So we are transparent, we are very honest, we work with integrity. We want to close the loophole that has been around, which have stopped other people and even end some of the companies. So we want to make our best, and God be our helper.
Is there anything you you maybe wanted us to talk about that I did not bring up?
I can just say that a lot of people might want to know whether we just fight tax only in Texas because this is where we are in Texas. No, we don't fight tax only in Texas. We fight for all the 50 states. In fact, we work remotely. We work remotely in that we can always you can be at this your office and you are working with me in my office and we are doing your taxes. You might not need to drive. Driving to the office is okay, but we can work here. You sign here and everything move forward. But we fight for all the 50 states and we want to just make people know that we are here to serve them. We are not a money venture tax company. We are to serve our community. We are to serve United States. We are to serve everyone. So we are not. Our focus is not money. Our focus is serving the people. So that is some of the things that I want our people to know, and I want to advise them that make sure that you report your taxes right. If you don't know how to do it, call somebody, call me, ask me. This is my from W4. What should I fee? This is my situation. A lot of people call me time and again, and I do that. And equally, if you file your taxes and you have not received a refund and you have not even threatened the person, if you need our help, we can help you. I've helped a lot of number of people. They submitted their documents somewhere and the tax were never filed, and they came to me again and we make research and find it and it went through. So you try to make sure that you always find somebody who is legitimate, somebody who have a location that you can find, somebody like we say, you find somebody apart from just the phone that you are talking, can you find somewhere, some other place, like maybe any platform, like we talk of Google, like Instagram, like Facebook and so on. So we have, so that we don't fall into victim. And then what I equally want to advise our people, don't just rush to somebody because you say, I want to give you
Much money.
Some people, they went and put people's children under another people's tax return, and it end up bringing them so many complications that it didn't worth it. So don't be too greedy when you are filing your taxes to get money without knowing where the money is coming from. I have a number of people that say, my tax preparer was putting things in my tax bill. I never knew. I don't want it. So that's the reason why I come to you. And I appreciate that. Every one of us should be working with some level of integrity, not just money monger, but we should. At least money is good. All of us need it. We need to do things with it. But the money will come as we work well. We do things right. So.
Man, thank you very much for coming. I hope you come and sit down with us again some other time. Not only when it's tax season, but I know, like I'm just saying that I know you're somebody who is doing a lot in the community. Even beside coming here, your phone lines are always open. I see you reaching out, sitting with people and trying to negotiate, trying to teach them, trying to guide them on all this tax, because that is one thing most people don't know. You're supposed to talk to your tax preparer every time of the year, before you make certain decisions, before you get this job, before you do this, before you buy this, before you need to know what they think about purchasing this or not purchasing that or investing in this business. And that way they can actually give you advice from a tax person's perspective. There's more to read up, get up to today. Guys, follow him on social media, like the video, share. If you have any questions, his phone number will be on the screen. Give him a call. And let's see how it works for you, just like it's been working for me and the many other peoples who work with him.